Hi, this is Dr. Quinton Moss. I am a psychiatrist and I deal with mind, body, and spirit. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of our thoughts. I believe that our thoughts are the building blocks of our existence. It is from our thoughts that we have our behaviors, our routines, that develop our lifestyles, and then eventually develop what we experience in everyday life. So thoughts are actual physical things. We think them as something that's intangible, but they actually help create proteins which build the circuitry that's within our brain. If we have thought after thought after thought, over time, we create a pathway, much like a dog that runs in the yard, and he runs that yard the same way over a period of time, creating that groove in the grass. Our thoughts do the same thing to our brains. So if we know that, take into consideration that we have about 50,000 thoughts that we have in each day. So 50,000 thoughts. Of those 50,000 thoughts, there are some who believe that 80 or 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts day after day after day. Imagine, if you will, if we had those repetitive thoughts and they were negative thoughts, self-defeating thoughts, thoughts of lack. We then build continued circuits that will allow for us to continue to repeat those thoughts. When we have thoughts that are negative, they actually affect our body in a negative way. Believe it or not, what we think actually affects how we express the genes within our bodies. So if we're having these negative thoughts, as I mentioned, that go over and over, we're sending these messages to our genome that now we're going to express these genes of disease. We're going to express genes for high blood pressure, for being able to gain weight and not lose weight, for increased sensitivity to pain, or for fatigue. Those things get expressed often from the thoughts that we have in our minds. So if thoughts have that much power, they create what happens within our bodies, they create what we experience from day to day, then we have to find a better way to harness those thoughts or to control those thoughts. And that's part of what we do in psychiatry. Cognitive behavioral therapy is our way of combating or fighting against thoughts that are negative and incorrect. You know, it's interesting, in the Bible, it speaks about, holding thoughts captive. And actually in the verse speaks of dealing violently with these thoughts, because the Bible even speaks to the importance of being able to control these thoughts so that these thoughts don't do harm. It also, on the other side of that, speaks about the things that we should think about. Things that are high-worthy or praiseworthy or good or noble or admirable. Those are the things that we need to give our energy. When we have thoughts over time, we start to also give off a certain energy. Now, some people may think that sounds crazy, but we all have an energy or vibe that we give off when we have certain thoughts. We can sense that when we go into a room and that people may be cool or warm towards us. We can sense that when we're in conversations. Sometimes people don't even have to say anything, but we feel their energy just by their body language. And that is a way that our thoughts influence our interactions, drawing people close, pushing people away, drawing in negativity, or drawing in positivity. If we believe our thoughts are of such importance, then we also have to be careful about what we allow to influence our thoughts. We've spoken at some point about social media and how that affects our thoughts, but we should think about the music that we listen to, the television shows that we watch, the people that we are in close proximity to. All of these things affect our subconscious, which eventually affects our active thoughts. You could think of our subconscious as being like an Alexa that's always listening and gathering information. And over time, that information is gathered is deposited into our active thought life. So something that you absorbed passively in conversation, background music, or watching something on social media, eventually that gets filtered into our active thought life. I will say that our reality is based upon one thought after another, but our destiny is created by one decision after another. We sometimes can't change the circumstance that we've been placed in, but we all have a decision to make about whether we want to change that circumstance, leave that circumstance, or find a way to improve that circumstance. To simply exist is actually making a choice. Our decision not to do something, not to make that call, not to start that activity, not to start that healthy habit, or not to incorporate more healthy people into our lives, our decision not to do those things is actually a decision for the status quo. So anything that deals with improvement or with change or trying to move forward has to be done with an active decision. To not decide is actually a decision. I also believe that there's nothing that's passive about life. We don't just simply exist. And to simply not do something, we're also making a choice. When we choose not to exercise, we choose not to have a routine, when we choose not to get the treatment that we know that we deserve, that is also a choice. And I'm hoping that people can make better choices so that where they are now can match where they're trying to get to and the goals that they want in the future. Whatever goal we have in life, whether it is to change jobs or have different relationships or to be able to purchase a house or a car, it first begins with our minds and our thoughts, visualizing exactly what it is that we want to the greatest detail. And then from there, what is the most immediate first thing that I can do? The first decision or choice that I can make to reach that goal. Thank you for watching this video. I ask that you like and subscribe. And if you know someone who could benefit from this message, make sure that you share it with them. Please have a blessed day.